good morning once again. Welcome to Some Good Seeds. Glad to have you with me again today. My Bible reading schedule that I follow takes me through the Old Testament once a year and the New Testament twice a year. But it's not just reading to make a little check. I ask the Lord to bless His Word to my heart as I read. And boy, the Lord just shares stuff with me, opens my eyes to see things that many times, well, I've never seen that before, but it's just a real blessing. So today, Deuteronomy chapters 10, 11, and 12, and Mark chapter 16. And from that 12th chapter, two verses that were really outstanding to me as I read. Verses 8 and 9, Deuteronomy chapter 12, verses 8 and 9. You shall not do at all do as we are doing here today, every man doing whatever is right in his own eyes. For as yet you have not come to the rest and the inheritance which the Lord your God is giving you. One of my commentators that I often read says this about it. Israel crossed over the Jordan during the wilderness wanderings. Each Israelite pretty much conducted their own worship as they pleased. But God was not really pleased with this. Worship was not a matter left up to whatever pleased the individual. Real worship is concerned with what pleases God. Boy, that is a tremendous statement, isn't it? Much of what is called worship today in today's church really isn't worship. Why is that? Well, it's self-focused, man-focused, and personal experience-focused instead of being God-focused. Much of today's worship is measured by how I feel instead of being measured by, was God honored in the worship that I offered? Charles Haddon Spurgeon, another one of my favorite commentators, says this about worship. Singing should be congregational, but it should never be performed for the credit of the congregation. Such remarkable singing. The place is quite renowned for its musical performances. This is a poor achievement, Spurgeon says. Our singing should be such that God hears it with pleasure. Singing in which there is not so much art as heart, not so much of musical sound as of spiritual emotion. Well, John tells us that God searches for those who worship in spirit and in truth. It isn't about having an emotional experience, although we may be emotional in our worship, but it's not for us to have an experience. It's not experience-based relationship. It's word-based relationship, and we worship because of His worthiness, not because of who we are or what we can do or how good we are. It's about giving God the glory that is due His name, focusing on Him and not on ourselves. Whenever people do what is right in their own eyes, chaos results. And I find that in my own life, when I do what's right in my own eyes, I have chaos in my own life. So what I want a purpose to do is to do what is right in the eyes of the Lord, to worship Him in spirit and in truth. And I pray today that will be your desire and your goal and your habit to worship in spirit and truth. Amen. May the Lord richly bless you today as you worship the Lord.